Welcome to the Worderella Writes podcast with me, Belinda Kroll. I write and illustrate cozy fantasy romance, and this is a little sneak behind the scenes. I am so glad you're here today. Hey everybody, it's week 3, and I've got some new equipment, so I'm pretty excited. I grabbed this fancy schmancy little of the Zon. I'm hoping it'll catch all those little pops and teas and weird sounds that come from speaking like a human, unused to speaking in front of a microphone. So anyway, this week, what have I been reading? Actually, a whole lot. I've been watching a lot. So sometimes my brain gets a little overloaded with all of the words and the screens and everything like that. So this week, I decided to watch a number of things. I, of course, dove in. My first viewing of the 5-hour nighttime Pride and Prejudice was last night. Today, I watched La Belle et la Bête, which is a French take on the French fairy tale Beauty and the Beast. It's from 2014, although I guess the English dubbing of it is from 2016. I was trying to find the French version, but apparently I can't get that in the States, or at least not through the streaming services that I have available to me. The fun thing about watching fairy tales from the fairy tale's home culture, for instance, watching Beauty and the Beast taken from the perspective of French culture and French actors and French all the things. They're usually a little bit darker. This was visually gorgeous, stunning. I'm not sure I understood why Belle fell in love with the Beast, except for her feeling sorry that, well, and I can't tell you why because that'd be spoilers. So give a comment in the show notes and I will let you know my confusion. Actually, come to Patreon and we can chat there because while the movie was beautiful, I just totally did not buy the romance at all. The hero and the heroine, the Beauty and the Beast, are familiar actors. I believe both of them have been in different Daniel Craig James Bond movies. So there's that. But I don't know. So it both refilled my artist cup and also left me very confused and wanting to start my own take on fairy tales because I don't know. I feel like I want to do it better or different or something. Anyway, this week our topic is on the sense, which is with a capital S, the sense that all of our mediums have in my series, The Hesitant Mediums. So, first off, what is the sense and why is it capitalized? This is really my shorthand way to say it's like a fifth sense, a sixth sense. I don't know what you want to call it. I guess it would be a sixth sense. But it was not planned. So when I first wrote Haunting Miss Trentwood, I did not know I was going to make it into a romance series. And so therefore, there is no mention of the sense in Haunting Miss Trentwood. Technically speaking, I suppose you could think of Haunting Miss Trentwood as a prequel novel, and then A Spirited Engagement as the true start of the Hesitant Mediums series. But I still count Haunting Miss Trentwood because without that book, I never would have come up with A Spirited Engagement. So, because it wasn't planned, for those of you that, chat in the world of magic systems, I would say this is a very soft magic system. I kind of make it up as I go along. I was halfway through A Spirited Engagement when I realized, oh my gosh, I can make each of my mediums have a specialty, like the Sailor Scouts or the Charmed Ones, or, any variety of, assembly superhero groups. And so in Haunting Miss Trentwood, she's unpacking things. She is like her past and, past trauma and stuff like that, with her dad's ghost as comedic relief. And as I was writing A Spirited Engagement, I had this sleep deprived moment where I was, again, taking care of the children. I think one of them was sick. And I had this vision of Victorian Sailor Scouts from Sailor Moon. And I thought, oh, but, instead of shooting like lightning bolts or hearts, is it more like, what would Mary be? Like if I had like a trio or a quadruplet of people who were all working together against the world of ghosts, which we call Beyond, how would I do that? And I thought, ooh, Mary could be like the shield and maybe Tessa is the spear. And then, and so I started thinking of like, what are the attributes that we've seen of them interacting with ghosts? And can I put a theme or centralizing word to describe that sense ability? So I don't want to give any spoilers because I I am working on book 3. I already have the blurb written for book 4. It's going to be equally ridiculous. But yeah, other than so the sense is it's not really a magic system because I made up most of the rules in book 2 with the spirited engagement. My delightful editor, Cozy Cottage Editing, gave me, as part of her editing package, she gave me a like style guide, which luckily told me the rules that I had written because I had already forgotten. Like by the time she sent the manuscript back, I was like, oh, I made rules. Dang it, now I have to keep up with them in book 3. So that's kind of the bummer side of writing a series with a centralizing theme of like they're all mediums who wish they couldn't talk to ghosts and are sort of bound by these loose rules that we may or may not actually know or understand. But all that being said, it also gives me a lot of room to play because magic system is so soft. I don't even know what's going on. Now, when we talk about soft and hard magic systems, this is like talking about like Sailor Moon is actually a surprisingly hard magic system. They have to have their silver crystal in order to transform. They have to say the right words. They have to have their tools in place. Like, there are rules for when they get to use their powers and when their powers will not work because they do not have their tools in place. So that's kind of like a hard magic system. There are rules that you simply cannot surpass, because that's how that world works. A soft magic system is essentially the opposite. Like a hard magic system is like as close to science as magic would get, where a soft magic system is even more loosey-goosey and like dreamlike, and like the importance of how the magic works is not the importance of the story. It's not a plot point. It's more about the soft magic helps enable plot points and enable different moments in the story, but it is not the centralizing, like, without the right word I can't cast my magic. A lot of times in a soft magic book you won't even know what words they use. The author will say something like, they spoke the magic phrase that caused the door to open, and that's all you need to know, right? So that's when you know you're in a soft magic system, when like the author doesn't even put any detail around it. The point is the person has magic, they use it, and we're moving on. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've been working on a commission for art for book number 3. I am also about 18,000 words into writing book number 3, so pretty excited there. The Kickstarter is mostly fulfilled. We're like 70% fulfilled for a spirited engagement. So if any of you are backers of the campaign, please do check your emails and look for either crowd control or a spirited engagement on Kickstarter or Wordorella.com. So that way you can find the reminder emails, submit your survey, and get your order sent through my store for fulfillment. Other than that, I've been trying really hard to relax. And for me, relaxing is actually more like keeping up with the dishes. I still haven't put my laundry away, but it's been folded for about a week, so that's a win. I know I sound like a total mess, but the problem is I just keep starting projects. Then I don't finish. I get my finishing energy for house projects is not as strong as my finishing energy for book projects. So rather than, stressing about it, I just decided I'm going to sit and watch things that make me feel good. The next movie I'm probably going to watch is I Am Dragon. I believe this is some sort of, it's like an Eastern European movie. I saw it once years ago. And then I couldn't find it again. And I think because I watched La Belle et la Bête, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, I took French, but having gone to Paris, I completely know that I probably speak not even as well as a 2-year-old. But La Belle et la Bête, because it's a foreign film in the United States, I think then the algorithm started showing me other films, and it showed I Am Dragon, which again is an interesting take on the princess getting captured by the dragon, and she fights him for a while, then she kind of falls in love with him, but they can't do anything, and he's had so many brides sent his way as sacrifices, but none of them have been the one. So Anyway, again, visually stunning movie. Not sure I entirely understand the entire plot. Maybe with English subtitles, I'll understand it a little bit better. I watched it last time just in its native language with no subtitles, so I might have made the story up. Who knows? Regardless, I am looking forward to refilling my cup with more of these mini artist dates, reading some more. I'm gonna dip into another Timothy Underwood book soon. I think it's gonna be Mr. Bennet's Daughter. I'm so intrigued by the idea that Mr. Bennet separated Mrs. Bennet from the daughters. I feel like that's the premise of that book, and what is going on there? So that's gonna be the next one on my reading list. So I have 2 questions for you. One, if you do enjoy Pride and Prejudice variations, what is the best one you've read so far? And 2, if you could have a sense ability, like someone who can interact with ghosts, what would it be and why? Examples would be when you touch a ghost, something special happens, or maybe you can hear ghosts. So think of your 5 senses, and what is a ability that you would like to capitalize or dig into, and let me know. Join me on Patreon. Let's chat. I'm so excited that we're getting some commentary back, so let's keep it going. I think beyond this season, I might try to do 1 update a month just to keep it going, and then that way, for those of you who are on the newsletter, you'll still see new episodes coming. It'll just be much slower than the official season, but we'll see how it goes. We're already getting close to time, and I'm hoping that my little recorder will cut out all of the pauses as I sit and think. But anyway, again, 2 questions. Your favorite Pride and Prejudice variation, and what sense would you have if you interacted with them? Thanks for joining me today. You can find my signed and illustrated editions, bookish merch, and bullet journals for writers on my website, worderella.com. Regular editions of my fiction are available at libraries and all major retailers. Worderella Writes runs as a single annual season with roughly 10 episodes running from January to April each year. Connect with me, Belinda Kroll, through the reader poll in the show description, on Instagram as Worderella, on Patreon as Worderella, or my website, worderella.com. That's Cinderella, but with words. If you enjoyed this episode, support the podcast by sharing it with a friend, leaving a 5-star rating and review, and subscribing so you never miss an episode. Until next time, take care, and may all your mood reads be excellent.